Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 5.
We begin tonight with the developing story we've been tracking today regarding the future of college football here in the Valley in the fall. Let's go right away to Sports Director Beth Houle with what we know. Beth?
Yeah, thanks, Courtney. The Missouri Valley Football Conference presidents and athletic directors were scheduled to meet at 4 this afternoon to discuss the fall football season, a season that no longer has an FCS championship after both the Big Sky and the Pioneer League canceled their fall seasons this morning, dropping the division below the NCAA required 50% participation. Both leagues said instead they will aim for a spring football season. Bison Reports' Ross Uglum reported this afternoon that the Missouri Valley will make a similar move, though there is no official word yet from that 4 p.m. meeting. We are continuing to work to bring you the latest, and we'll update you as more news becomes available.
All right, thank you, Beth. You can find those updates on the VNL News app and on valleynewslive.com. That was quite the downpour that moved through the Fargo-Moorhead this afternoon, and it sounds like it hit a lot of other places along the way, too. Let's go to First Alert meteorologist Hutch Johnson for the latest on your conditions.
Courtney, thanks so much. Dark skies are moving off to the north and to the northeast of the FM area, taking with it the heavy rain. Those storms were non-severe all day until this afternoon. Now one of them has become severe, with the hail potential being the main threat, upwards of 1 to 1.5 inches in diameter. A brand new warning until 6 o'clock for the White Earth area in Becker, Clearwater, and Monoman counties for a storm moving east at about 20 miles per hour. There was an initial warning for this little pink cell here north of Waban. Now is where that hail core is moving off to the east-northeast now into rural portions of Monoman County. But if you're in Naytawash, a gusty storm is heading in your direction right now as well. Prepare for winds upwards of 60 miles per hour and hail 1 to 1.5 inches in diameter. I've circled an area where the sun is starting to come out, and with just a few hours of sunlight, we've seen temperatures soar into the mid-80s in these areas, destabilizing the atmosphere, and we're expecting more development of thunderstorms. That is why it is a first alert weather day into the evening. There is a watch in effect for the Southern Valley into central Minnesota until 1 o'clock in the morning. We're expecting more development and the main event to be taking place. Our storm team is on top of this. We have Eric Whitehill out and about, keeping his eyes on the developing storms. We'll keep you apprised of any severe weather that happens, but we want to ask you to make sure that you have a plan in place to keep you and your family safe should storms move into the area. Once again, Lakes Country has been hard hit this summer. We'll be particularly watching that area throughout the evening hours. I'll have your forecast for what could be a bumpy weekend for some here in just a few minutes, Courtney.
Busy day. Thanks so much, Hutch. And make sure you get the Valley News Live Storm Team weather app so you can keep up with the weather anytime, anywhere. You'll get the latest forecasts and conditions so you can plan your day. Just search VNL Weather in the App Store and download it for free. The search continues for one man in connection to a death investigation in Fargo. Police arrested 31-year-old Jonathan Hunt for conspiracy to commit aggravated assault. It happened Tuesday around midnight when officers were called out to South Fargo, where they found 18-year-old Cameron Camacho suffering from life-threatening injuries. Camacho later died from those injuries. Fargo police are asking for your help in finding 25-year-old Larry Evans Jr. surrounding this case. Evans is 6'5", 300 pounds, and he has short black hair. He also may be driving a gold 2005 Pontiac G6 with North Dakota license plates 073DBU. Fargo police are investigating how a man ended up unconscious this morning. Officials say he was found around 650 near 4th Avenue North and 7th Street North. The man was taken to a local hospital, but we don't know the extent of his injuries. And a 40-year-old man is accused of possessing 60 images of child pornography. 40-year-old Kip Edwards was charged for having and spreading obscene material. Special agents with the Department of Homeland Security discovered child porn was being downloaded from a West Fargo home last August. It was a sexually graphic video of a girl between the ages of 12 and 14. A few days later, agents searched Edwards' home and found 60 suspected images of child porn. Edwards is scheduled to appear in court on September 3rd. We have new information on a rural Clay County assault that sent 2 women to the hospital this week. 39-year-old Thaddeus Severson is facing 10 felony charges, including first-degree attempted murder, kidnapping, and assault after court documents say Severson stabbed his ex-girlfriend and hit her grandmother over the head with a knife. Valley News Team's crime and safety reporter Bailey Hurley is now in the studio with what unfolded. Bailey?
Courtney, court documents say Thaddeus Severson was ordered on Monday to stay away and off his ex-girlfriend's rural Felton property after she reported to officers Severson was constantly showing up uninvited since she ended their 3-year relationship 1 month earlier. Documents say Severson then took to Facebook on Wednesday morning saying, quote, "I waited 20 years to find that love and it was fake. Someone better come get me before I light this whole world on fire." And just 2 hours after that post, a call came in for a disturbance at the Felton home. Documents say officers found the female victim sitting in a chair outside, covered in blood, and also found the victim's grandmother, who said besides being hit in the head, she was all right. Documents say the younger victim later told officers she was inside her home Wednesday morning when she heard a car door slam and saw Severson walking towards the house with a machete in his hands. The victim said Severson came inside the home and immediately began hitting her before dragging her outside by her hair. Documents say Severson held the knife up to the victim's throat and said, quote, "I'm going to kill you," and quote, "You don't deserve to live." Court documents say the victim's grandma tried to go inside to call 911. However, Severson hit her over the head with the butt of the machete. The younger victim said Severson then continued assaulting her by pinning her to the ground, biting her face and throat, and also strangling her. She said Severson then drug her by her hair to his car and put her inside. The victim says Severson drove through a wheat field and stabbed her in the thigh with a screwdriver, but said once they were back at her rural Felton home, Severson tried to wrap her leg and apologized. Documents say Severson then stole the victim's car before stealing another vehicle near Craigness, Minnesota. Severson was found and arrested in Fargo just hours later, where documents say he told officers he did not remember what happened. Courtney?
Thanks, Bailey. Court documents say both victims are still in the hospital. Their conditions are unknown. If convicted on all 10 charges, Severson could face over 100 years in prison. The city of Fargo is now releasing their top 3 finalists for the position of police chief for the Fargo Police Department. Officials say John Franklin, Stacey Kelly, and David Zabulski have all accepted invitations to the multi-day in-person interview process, with the selection committee conducting public interviews on August 20th. A total of 26 people have applied for the position. In Minnesota, the Department of Health is reporting another 556 confirmed cases of COVID-19, along with 4 new deaths linked to the illness. In total, 1,640 have been attributed to the disease, while over 51,000 are listed as recovered. In North Dakota, 150 cases and another death has been confirmed. The death toll now sits at 109, while the active case count is up to 1,119. Fargo Public Schools is set to announce plans on Monday on classes and if they will be in person, remote, or a combination of both. The first day of school for Fargo students is September 2nd. The committee will meet every 2 weeks and adjust plans as needed. Stay with Valley News Live for full coverage of Monday's meeting that's scheduled to go from 7 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. A Fargo couple is having a social distance wedding this weekend, but it almost didn't happen. A job loss and the pandemic put them on a tight budget. Then a woman stepped in, offering her services for free. Valley News Team's Joshua Pagero has this story.
Kathy Lundy began to self-isolate in February on the advice of her doctor since she's immunocompromised.
You put your mask on your head and then you would put...
She, like most of us, got bored, but began making masks to pass the time.
Needed to do something, and this was a great way to be able to give back. People have tried to pay me, and I don't like taking the money.
To date, Lundy's made over 3,000 masks to help stop the spread of the coronavirus.
They've gone to Sanford Hospital, Essentia Clinic, the VA Hospital, some of the Hornbacher stores, the Great Plains food banks, family, friends, neighbors. I did them for the neighborhood.
Lundy says she'll wake up around 8 or 9 in the morning and sew until about 2 in the morning and do it again the next day.
I love to be able to help people out. That's just the way we're supposed to be. Mom and Dad taught us well in that regard.
You can adjust it that way. So there's that one.
She managed to connect with Nathan and Cassandra Johnson while surfing through the social media website Nextdoor. Nathan says he put out a plea on Nextdoor for embroidered masks. But masks aren't the only thing Lundy is doing. She's baking the wedding cake and making the bouquet.
This is somebody that Cassandra said, an earth angel that we have been blessed to meet and be able to do a lot of this wedding planning with.
The couple describes Lundy's actions as a blessing since the pandemic has forced Nathan out of his job in order to watch their 4 kids, 3 autistic, as they do remote learning.
Bought our house in September, and we had a really nice nest egg that we had saved up after moving in. Thank God, because COVID hit.
As for Lundy, she says her slogan is helping mask America. In Fargo, Joshua Peguero, Valley News Live.
The couple's wedding was supposed to take place at Lindenwood Park. Instead, they're doing it in their backyard this Sunday. A funeral service was held today in Atlanta for former presidential candidate Herman Cain. The businessman turned politician died last Thursday after a battle with COVID-19. It's unclear where he contracted the illness. Cain was hospitalized 2 weeks after attending a rally for President Trump in Tulsa, Oklahoma. He's survived by his wife, 2 children, and 4 grandchildren. Still ahead tonight, Cadillac is rolling out a new type of vehicle. Stick around to find out who they're competing against.
Storms are expected to develop any moment now. The best chance of strong to severe weather is in the area you see shaded in yellow, where we have a slight risk of a couple of tornadoes, large hail, and damaging wind. Your hour-by-hour forecast is next as we track these storms right here.